KINETIQ.com.
Welcome to the KINETIQ Life Podcast, brought to you by KINETIQ Renew, available in liquid or gel caps. In this episode, can simplifying nature make it better? Could alcohol detox be the fountain of youth? Can eliminating dreams end the nightmare of aging? And now, here are your hosts, Michael Chalavutis and Dr. Mark Hertzberg.
Welcome to another amazing episode of the KINETIQ Life Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mike Chalavutis, with my good friend, Dr. Mark Hertzberg.
I have been through the desert on a podcast with no name. It felt good to get out of the rain. In the desert, you don't remember your name because there ain't no one for to give you no pain. Ooh, okay. Enough classic music.
The KINETIQ Life Podcast is sponsored by KINETIQ Renew, with benefits like anxiety relief that doesn't knock you out. Renew increases energy, focus, and provides brain support. So get on with your day with Renew in liquid or gel caps. Visit KINETIQLife.com now and try it. That's KINETIQ Life.com now.
Lean, mean, protein machine. Oh, look, we've been using AI for everything these days, Mark. And, evolution over how many millions, billions of years has put together, 20 main amino acids to build all of our proteins. But there's got to be a more efficient way. So let's turn to artificial intelligence to help us speed up that evolutionary process and or clean it up.
What a lot of people don't understand when some people go, natural is better, this is that, there's more of this out in nature, there's more of this in non-Western things. Nature can try, because it's had way more time to try an infinite amount of things, almost, such a high number that it's virtually infinite, might as well be. And by trial and error comes up with lots of things we haven't come up with, but it doesn't refine them. And the same thing, a lot of times you find there's certain cultures that have for thousands of years had certain things that we didn't stumble upon yet. But when we find it, science can take it and say, let's find out what makes it work and purify, organize, make it better. So this is now saying the basic protein themselves and the amino acids that make it, human science has looked at it and said, you know what? We would never thought of all this stuff nature did, but knowing what nature did and which works best, we can make it more efficient. We can work better. We can do all of this actually with a lot less amino acids.
Yeah, so they're using artificial intelligence and then they're picking certain proteins and even dropping it down anywhere between 2 to 6 amino acids, if I remember correctly. How can we make it the same protein or something functioning in the same way with a whole lot less building blocks? Or less types of building blocks, not less amount, but less types.
Yes, and when you do that, it makes a lot of processes. You can make things that you need faster, more efficiently. It adds a certain flexibility, and then you could start saying, now add back some others, and you might increase the spectrum of what you can do. There's also one thing people don't realize, which is they think, because they put a magic into the word. Natural means it's good. Natural means we don't have to test it to see what type of side effects it has. When we start taking the natural thing and changing it and making it now a man-made thing, it's got to pass safety regulations.
Does it?
Yes. I mean, there's certain things, you eat poison ivy is natural. Wouldn't want to eat it. It has side effects.
But is it organic?
Yes, it is. By whatever definition you want to make, since organic is one of the most flexibly defined words. Technically, all it means is its chemistry involves carbon. So does everything else. But when you're talking about this, they're making it more efficient. They're also making less side effects. Whatever you're using something for, you want it to be doing less other things.
So they actually use technology to create a type of plasma protein, right? For blood plasma.
Oh, yeah, that's probably one of the, when you're doing things like this, that's relatively basic compared to trying to take all the proteins together and build a brain.
Of course, yeah. But they found it that it was able to withstand a larger range of temperatures and seemed to be a little bit more efficient.
Storage?
And function.
Maybe, when you're making it and you have to transport it and take it to places like where, third world countries, battlefields, just be ambulances, that you can make things that don't have to be frozen, don't have to be kept as cold, all different things you can do once you start engineering it to your needs.
So from a medical standpoint, this could be amazing to find, replacement alternatives using less building blocks. But then, do we use this knowledge and CRISPR to make superhumans? Question mark? Or is that,
this is for another discussion, but CRISPR is becoming as being beaten by better versions already. That's other articles.
When is Gattaca coming?
Oh, I think when the next Godzilla movie comes out, Gattaca will fight him.
Okay.
How big would you dream if you knew you could not fail? The only thing stopping us is ourselves. Take one step in the right direction, and you're halfway there to making your dreams come true. Author unknown. If you're miserable, change. To change, you have to plan. You have to spend all your waking hours planning and taking action. Do it like your life depends on it. Attack it like you're trying to save your life. Joe Rogan. Success is on the same road as failure. Success is just a little further down the road. Jack Hales. Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, as by the obstacles which have been overcome. Booker T. Washington. You may see me struggle, but you will never see me quit. C.J. Watson. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Author unknown.
Are you ready for this, Mark? The key ingredient to live longer. Actually, the key enzyme. Well, one of probably many, but
the enzyme is the ingredient.
Well, yeah, activating that enzyme.
Oh,
so,
okay.
you could force activate your own enzymes, right? So,
So among the things you were about to say was that there's an enzyme that activating this enzyme could be the fountain of youth.
Yes. So alcohol dehydrogenase, which you all know for...
Ooh, there's a mouthful.
The enzyme that helps break down alcohol and...
it's a detoxifying thing.
Yes. So most of us have utilized its efforts after consumption of a beverage or two.
Is this one of the things that we have a lot of and other creatures don't?
No, there's creatures that have alcohol dehydrogenase.
But not like we do.
No.
That was but did we discuss this on an earlier podcast?
Elephants.
Elephants.
Yeah.
They always used to joke about elephants like going to rotting plants which produce alcohol. And we knew that they liked them and went to them and then becoming tipsy. And they used to say, you would need 50, 60 times that much for the elephant to actually get tipsy. So people said that that's just bunk stories people tell. They found out it's absolutely true because they have very little ability to detoxify the alcohol. So it not only takes less pound for pound to make an elephant drunk than a human, it may take less to make an elephant. It's really a big thing that humans have tons of this stuff, which means, well, it detoxifies other things, but there's something in our evolutionary history where evolution said, we're dealing with a bunch of drunks.
Yeah, we were luscious back in the day, I guess. But I believe they put a complex together. They described it. The alcohol alcohol-mediated anti-aging response. That's what they called it, through alcohol dehydrogenase kind of detoxifying you, or it has, I guess, anti-aging benefits if it can be activated outside of consuming alcohol.
And the funny thing, the reason they go alcohol or aldehyde, it probably mediates other detox things.
Well,
but
aldehyde
they wanted it to be one of those two. You know why? They wanted the letter A. Because after, either one of those you pick for the A, the anti-aging response, it's mediated. So alcohol mediated AM, anti-aging, they only kept one A. Response, R, AMAR. That's the name, and it's Sanskrit for immortality.
Because you can take a dead language and use that acronym, because it's, I guess we've translated said dead language for immortality. So I get it. It makes sense. It's a cool name. Now, how do we get this gene popping, get this enzyme moving for the rest of us to live longer? Now, they looked at what the C. elegans, which is a type of flatworm, which there seems to be my favorite animal used for, length of life studies. I'm going to imagine it because they don't really live too long, and also they're easy to work with. Activating AMER and these C. elegans actually increase their life expectancy by 50%, and provided looking at metabolic markers, improved quality of life. So, assuming this translates even a fraction of percent, we should be looking to have increased alcohol dehydrogenase naturally in our own lives. I mean, I don't know of any natural ingredient that does it. I believe there's some synthetic things out there that could. The question also, is it work? They never mention how this happens. Is it working through some other mechanism, or is it simply a good, you get more detoxification in the body, not just alcohol, but many things, then you are healthier. I agree that it's likely more complex than this single enzyme. You activate it, and all of a sudden, everyone's living wonderfully much longer. Most of these things are, multi-enzyme protein related. It's a complex, and if you just increase one without addressing everything else, sometimes it could be more of more issues than positive.
Overcome the notion that you must be regular. It robs you of the chance to be extraordinary. Uta Hagen. Life is very interesting. In the end, some of your greatest pains become your greatest strengths. Drew Barrymore. Do not settle for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. Nelson Mandela. There are no regrets in life, just lessons. Jennifer Aniston. Life's tough, but it's tougher when you're stupid. John Wayne.
What do you dream about? Tell me about your dream, Mark.
I dare to dream of a dream-free world. How's that? There is a dream complex inside your body. Okay, how come your germ cells, that is the ones that produce eggs and sperm, reproductive stuff, repair their DNA better than all the other cells of your body when it comes to repairing DNA? Why did they have this special ability? We know that it's useful for having a baby that doesn't have all of the built-up problems you have, and that, so they're not born as old as the parents. But if it's capable to have that ability, why is it not working in other cells?
Well, first off, you don't need passing along your baggage to your children, but I would say it's energy intensive. That would be the quick answer.
Or, I would actually go that this is more proof that nature doesn't want you to live too long. Nature is interested in the species. Don't forget, the DNA isn't the instructions to build you. You are the packaging to protect the DNA. That is what counts. And there are many things, and a couple that are going to be in upcoming discussions, which really highlight that.
So we just a virus?
If you could live longer, but nature has a balance of saying, I don't want the individual to live too long. I want it to be replaced and to ensure the species lasts.
So isn't it essentially a glorified version of a virus? A virus is just a casing with DNA, and you're just passing it on to replicate, and then...
Right. Well, everything starts from chemicals that hit upon this ability to assemble other molecules into what they are, and that continues to assemble. They got to bigger and bigger things until you have blue whales. But it's all, everything that develops is just protecting this ability of, chemicals that order themselves to keep building more of themselves in that with that order. So and when you look at this thing, what you find is it's not simply that it's a special ability that developed and was used in these germ cells that was just, as your postulate was, it was too energy intensive to use in other cells. No, it is more of the simple way is they repair. Something called the dream complex exists all over the body, preventing this. It is an actively developed system to stop the DNA repair. It attaches actually to the instruction area that tells the repair part to do the repairing and says, don't.
So to summarize for everyone out there, essentially there's a protein complex called the dream complex, which is a terrible name for this, and I'll explain why in a second. But it's this dream complex, which is in all the cells of your body, but is turned off and actually is turned on in most of them, is preventing you from doing DNA repair, which is preventing you from living longer. Most of the time, DNA damage is what leads to cancer and Alzheimer's, all these other problems. So by it being turned on, your cells aren't repairing their DNA. But what they found is by inhibiting or turning this off, DNA repair is done. And then, of course, again, at C. ligands, the flatworms, they've tested, they blocked the dream complex, and they live longer because they continue the cells had, continue repairing their DNA. So why would you call something that's stopping you from living longer the dream complex? I'm not sure, but I know it's an acronym, but I think it's a terrible
more of a nightmare.
Name. Yeah, so it should be the nightmare complex, not the dream complex.
That is the name they came up with. I think that this tells us something. We have to come up with a better name when we rename our podcast.
Oh, that we already have. So what we learned today is also if you inhibit your dream complex and upregulate alcohol dehydrogenase, you should live much longer and a better life. How is this done? That I can't help you with, but maybe in the future there'll be a magic elixir or something, or that will help activate and deactivate both these things to keep you around much longer, unless you don't want to be around much longer, in which case, I get it.
Okay, nobody listen or take seriously what I'm about to say. Maybe we can put the last two discussions together. Could it be that our Wonder Amar anti-alcohol enzyme somehow attacks dream?
Ooh.
Again, that's about a 1 in a billion shot, because it, as far as we know, works by very different mechanisms that haven't been named. But it would just make such a neat compilation of articles together.
It would. It would put
If it works out that way, we're genius. If it doesn't work out that way, we're still genius, but this isn't proof of it.
Yeah, no, it's probably doesn't work out that way, but,
But one can dream.
One can dream. On that note, Mark, I think I've had enough of you today.
Well, who told you to listen?
Thank you all again for coming for another great episode of the Kinetic Life Podcast. Appreciate all the love. You can use the same email address to reach out to us at podcast@kineticlife.com. That's podcast at KINETIQ life.com. Like, share, subscribe, and get excited for next week, the new name and a new look. Again, I'm your host, Mike Shalavutis.
I'm Mark Hertzberg.
Till next time, bye-bye.
And have a great one.
The Kinetic Life podcast is sponsored by KINETIQ Renew. KINETIQ Renew is a 4-ounce shot of all natural ingredients that deliver some amazing benefits, like improved mental clarity, long and short-term focus, and improved memory and cognition. Plus, KINETIQ Renew improves mood with the added benefits of anti-stress and anti-anxiety. Here's what people are saying.
I drink a bottle of KINETIQ Renew, and I'm in a better mood. It's like waking up on the right side of the bed. It's great.
My mental focus is clearly better.
I do notice that I have better clarity. Definitely improves my mood for sure. It reduces my stress.
Visit kineticlife.com today. Log on now and use promo code POD1 for 30% off. That's 30% off your order when you use promo code POD1. KINETIQLife.com. KINETIQ life.com. Do it now. You're going to love KINETIQ Renew. Thank you for listening to the Kinetic Life podcast. Catch a new show every other Thursday. You'll find us everywhere you can listen to a podcast. And remember, be safe, have fun, and go for your dreams. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. All comments, jokes, views, and ideas expressed are those of the hosts or guests and do not represent any company or organizations with whom they may be affiliated. Always make sure to consult your own physician before starting any new diet, supplement, or exercise routine. Oh, and there's one more thing. If you're working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. Steve Jobs.